Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Robert, and in today's episode, we're working on an 86 Chevy El Camino. We've got the hood popped here. The battery's currently disconnected, and reason being, the problem with this is it will start, but it won't turn off. So that's why the battery's disconnected. The owner had to, in order to get the engine to shut off, disconnect the battery, and the engine continued to run because the alternator was powering things, and had to suffocate the carburetor with a shop rag to snuff out the engine to get everything to shut off. All right, so the issue here, at least one of the issues, is this ignition tumbler here. So right now we're in the run position, and we can go to crank, but it will not come back to the off position. As you can see, we can't get it out of park, so the vehicle's going nowhere. Just for clarification, it was at this point in time that we were unable to turn the engine off, unable to shift the transmission out of park, unable to remove the key from the ignition lock cylinder, and we were unable to rotate that lock cylinder from the run position to the off position, which ultimately resulted in a dead car battery, and that's why the owner had previously disconnected the battery. I was confident that a number of these issues would be resolved by replacing the ignition lock cylinder. However, I wasn't 100% certain that it would help with the shifter being shifted out of park. So the game plan was to tackle the ignition lock cylinder and then go from there. Pretty early on, things got off to a rough start. This steering wheel cover, a lot of them, they snap in place and they pop right off of the steering wheel. And that wasn't the case for this steering wheel. Instead, it was retained by two screws that had 7mm bolt heads on them, but I had trouble finding the right size because I couldn't see. So finally I got smart and put on a headlamp, excuse me, and having a good headlamp makes all the difference. It's been probably over 10 years since I tore into a steering column on anything, and I don't remember the snap ring on these things being this difficult. Seeing how it's time-lapse and things appear to be much faster than they really are, you may have missed the indexing. So what I do is I'm marking parts before I remove them, and I'll mark them at the 12 o'clock position with like a spring-loaded center punch, a paint pen, a marker, and so on. And the reason I do that is because it eliminates confusion during reassembly. When I remove it and I mark it at that spot, I know that the part goes on this way and not this way, and I also know the part goes on this way and not clocked some other way. And it just makes things that much faster and that much simpler. So at this point in time, we've got the old ignition lock cylinder out. If I haven't mentioned it already, we've already got the new ignition lock cylinder installed in the vehicle. The battery has been hooked back up, so we've got power, and let's see if this thing will start up. All right, so it starts, and it was doing this before it would fire up, but the problem was is we couldn't get it to shut off. Right now we're in the run position and we could not get it to go back this direction. So Now we're back in business. During filming, I forgot to mention that I was able to shift the transmission out of park. Minor detail. This part of the reassembly proved to be quite difficult. There was this little plastic and metal gizmo. That gizmo needed to be installed down into the steering column, into its little home, and it didn't want to go to its home. And I tried to persuade it even with, pocket screwdriver, pick, and just trying to finesse it in there. And it was not complying. And I was trying to be real cautious and careful with it because, like I said, that little gizmo, part of it was made out of plastic, and I didn't want to break it, because if I break it, now I've got other problems to deal with. To make a long story short, it was a matter of fiddling with the ignition lock cylinder, getting it to the right positioning, which affected some little plastic tit, for lack of better words, detent, I don't know what it is, that was protruding down into the little home, blocking the gizmo from going down into its little home, getting fully seated. So, just had to hold your mouth just right. I installed the compressor tool, compressed the spring, only to realize that I forgot to install the snap ring onto the shaft. This is what we call a practice run. See the smoke? Thought I better fire it up one last time before finishing everything up, just to make certain that everything is still good. Here on the channel, we typically strive to create detailed how-to video tutorials, and not on general automotive, but we specialize in automatic transmission repair videos. And just to be clear, this video that you're watching right now was not one of those detailed how-to videos. This was less education and more for the sake of entertainment. If you're new here to the channel, my name's Robert, and you are watching Southpaw AutoWorks. And with this show, we're on a mission to make automatic transmission repair accessible to everyone. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell too, so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I will catch up with you guys in the comments, and I'll see you in another video real soon.